The Surge.
Smallzy surgery.
The surgery.
This is Smallzy surgery.
The death of Her Majesty the Queen is a huge shock to the nation and to the world.
Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived, and she is mourned most deeply in her passing.
All right, on the show right now, it's been a couple of days since Her Majesty the Queen passed away. There's been some updates that have happened in the UK today. Let's cross to our E-News correspondent. Melanie Bromley joins us right now. Hello.
My pleasure, thank you.
It has been a very sad 72 hours since the passing of Her Majesty. I thought I would tap in with you, quickly check in. I see a lot has been going on in Edinburgh today. Can you get me across the latest?
Yeah, that's right. The Queen's coffin arrived at St Giles's Cathedral in Edinburgh today, where her children were there as well to pay respect and just to allow the public to come and say their goodbyes. The queues there are thousands of people lining up to pay their respects and to say goodbye to the Queen. And of course, this is like the kind of scenes that we've never seen before for most of us actually in our lifetime, of the passing of a monarch like this, somebody who reigned for 70 years, and just the amount of people whose lives she touched in that time. You know, so it has been a very, very sad time, but this is really the beginning of the end. You know, this is about the nation being able to, and the Commonwealth being able to say goodbye and say thank you, and the transition to King Charles III and our new.
It's crazy. For obviously in Australia we're part of the Commonwealth, so we're well across. You know, the Queen. Like it's quick. It's strange how quickly England changed its national anthem to "God Save the King," and we're already talking about putting King Charles on the back of our coins in Australia. Like when this happened, I mean, it's happened for centuries, but not in our lifetime before. All of the plans that have happened countless times in the past are ready to be rolled out for now as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You know, there is Operation London Bridge is something that has been decades in the making, and it's actually Operation Unicorn because she's in Scotland at the moment, coinciding with Operation London Bridge. But these are plans that the Queen was very much a part of. You know, she was very aware. The most important thing during this time, aside from for us as the public watching this and being able to pay our respects and say goodbye, is just this kind of very smooth transition from one monarch to the next. And so she has been a big part of this. She knew everything that was going to take place. She was able to have a say with all of this. And, you know, that's why it's also gone so smoothly, right? You said that, you know, it feels so quick and so smooth.
Yeah.
That's because there's so many people involved in this.
Absolutely.
There's so many people. This has been also, there's a lot that the Queen would have had to contemplate through this. It wasn't just about going from one monarch to another, but also about how the public would react to this. I think, you know, one thing that has crossed my mind over the past few days is just this kind of hereditary monarchy and just this idea of just passing, like going from one person to another without questions as far as the why or the how. And so, you know, this has really been done in a way to try and be as respectful to the people as possible, so that everyone feels like they can understand the process that's taking place.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned at the top that the Queen's coffin is in Edinburgh at the moment. The public viewing has started there. Do you know how many days she will rest there in Edinburgh before she makes her journey to London? Because I'm of the understanding that there'll be a public viewing process like there is now, and hundreds of thousands of people are expected to come out and pay their respects.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I actually just heard somebody estimated that there was going to be 14 kilometres lines of people trying to go to Westminster Hall. So what's actually going to happen is that the Queen's coffin will be taken from Scotland to England tomorrow, and then on Wednesday the Queen's coffin will be transported with a procession through the streets of London to Westminster Hall, and then there'll be 5 days where she will be lying in state, where the public will be able to go and see the coffin and say goodbye. So that will happen for 5 days, and that's where you will see huge lines of people. I mean, the lines of people in Edinburgh today, Monday in Scotland, are huge, but I think in London it's just going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. And that's one thing that actually the royal family have always done, I think, better than anybody else in the world, is just this pomp and circumstance, right? This kind of beauty, such a somber occasion, but so beautifully done, so ceremonial. And that's what we'll be seeing over the rest of this week.
Absolutely. Now, I couldn't have someone on from E! News without going, let's talk about Meghan and Harry. Okay, let's go.
Yes,
let's go.
Of course.
The awesome foursome, they're back together. However, I won't lie to you, I'm no body language expert, but
yeah.
Princess Kate did seem to be keeping her distance. She did seem far to the left in that photo. Do you have any sources? Have you heard any word? Do you know what's happening behind the scenes? Because I know I did read something that Harry won't be allowed to dress in his his royal outfit because they stepped away from the family, and apparently that's causing tensions behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's interesting. On that note, Prince Andrew won't be either, because
thank God for that. Thank God for that, right?
Yes, it's working members of the royal family that will be wearing their military uniforms. So that does mean that Prince Andrew also won't be. As far as Harry and Meghan, all we've been told is that everything is okay behind the scenes. They are, obviously, there has been the biggest kind of royal rift that any of us have seen for many, many years, over the past few years, because of Harry and Meghan stepping away. I thought it was interesting, Prince Charles's statement, which was so kind of personal in the way he's obviously trying to be a new monarch and taking the country and the Commonwealth through this transition period, but also being a son and a father who's going through his own personal tragedy and dealing with that and balancing that too. But, the fact that he did reference Harry and Meghan and say that he loves them very much and he wishes them the best of luck. The main thing, we all know this, is that the Queen would have wanted is that for her warring grandsons to be able to have a relationship again and be able to kind of get past their differences. And so that's what we're hoping, all of us are hoping will happen. There is no doubt the logics of the situation are that King Charles, and if I ever refer to him as Prince Charles, I apologise, it takes a little bit of getting used to. King Charles III, of all the times when he needs some help, it's now. He's going to be taking on a huge responsibility, same with Prince William and Kate, and they need Harry and Meghan, honestly, as many members of the working members of the royal family as they can get. That Harry and Meghan have been very clear about what they want for their future, and that, there has been a couple of years past that. So I don't think that we will see, I think it will be a softening of the tensions, but I don't think that there will be any kind of going back against their original plans of living in America and being able to live a semi-normal life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? There's one thing I want to leave you with, and I would, I'm sure you would probably agree with it. Is there's one thing that I had not noticed, however, do notice now more than ever, is with all of the noise that is around regarding Harry, Meghan, in any of the Commonwealth countries about whether the decision is now to become a republic, there's something that if you've ever watched The Crown and you've ever seen the show, the Queen, she was always so... She valued silence and the impartiality of the Crown, and for them never to make comments about their personal lives or make comments about politics. And even now, in their darkest hour, they have all kept their mouths shut and have respected her wishes and done and behaved in the way that they believe the Crown should behave, and that is go through with the ceremony and respect it for what it is, and it's on display now, and it's an incredible once-in-a-lifetime thing to see.
Absolutely, and I think, that's it. This moment of history that we're all in at the moment is about respecting the Queen, and, they are doing a phenomenal job with that at the moment. I do think, though, that there are some valid questions that people should be allowed to ask in the future, because for King Charles III, this is about monarchy in 2022 and beyond. This is the 21st century, that he's allowed to modernize it a little bit more than it has been. And I think for him to be cognizant of that and really aware and listening to what people want will be it'll be very interesting how he kind of approaches this role once we are past this mourning period.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. You know what though? I want to say to you, there's a part of me that doesn't want it to change. There's a part of me that says, and this might be selfish, but there's a part of me that says, I don't care if it's 2022 or 1522. The fact that the monarchy has survived for the time it has survived is because it never bent and twisted with the public's demand for what they are.
Yes.
They lived their truth, and they behaved in the way that they believed they needed to behave accordingly. And maybe the rest of the world should slow down a little bit, and we should just respect the crown for a hot minute. I don't know. That's just my hot take on it. And I enjoy that there's just in a world where it feels like everything is changing so quickly, that there is a little bit of tradition left is a bit exciting.
I agree. And I'm with you on that too. The thing about all of this is that she was stability for all of us, right? She reigned through 14 presidents and, just welcomed in her 15th prime minister in the UK. And there was something to her. She was my queen, my mother's queen, my grandmother's queen, my great-grandmother's queen. And so she was this incredible woman who was iconic and strong and courageous and stoic. And there is something beautiful to the fact that no matter what else has happened, all of the technological, economical changes and advances that we've gone through, that she was just still there and still the same person. There's something lovely about that.
Well said. Melanie, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Smallzy Surgery
is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.